Woo! It's working! It's working! Okay. Now that it wasn't working for a little while. What can I do with this microphone to make it not be right in front of mine face? Nine face. Come on. Let's. Oh, moving the wrong shit. A plus for for being ready. Fuck. This is just military grade readiness right here. I tell you what. That's the back side of the microphone. Here we go. This is fucking fantastic start to this live stream. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'll just let this thing point to my face. Now, let's actually listen up. If it's coming through all right, or I should start my my chat too, because I know motherfuckers be dropping in any moment now, by the thousands, by the millions. Just move the camera, and yeah. As I expected. Ah, boy. Okay. Alright, everything seems fine. So, let's start up Photo Dick. Dick-a-shop. And let's get on this. Okay. So we left off at the level map Catacombs. Now I have had thoughts, very strange thoughts, impure thoughts about painting stuff into this level map. And then I realized that that will make it a huge commitment. So can I go ahead and at least try something? The background would really help with the at least putting in some more concept art data into the map. Now there's a number of things that I actually wanted to change. A whole number of things. The place where we meet the NPC. Where would the place we meet the NPC be? Oh, let's get into this. Where is my thing? It's on the wrong monitor. Yay! Oh boy. This is monitor 2. Beautiful. Okay. So there's a thing, an awesome thing, Not really. But a thing indeed that I wanted to edit over here. I'll move this thing over there. Get rid of that. Doobidoo 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 doobidoo. Okay, so first of all, there are these platforms. The player can jump on and off. Kind of like mid platforms. Let me put on some music, actually. Just a little bit of music. Boop, boop. Where's my server? Alright, well, I've got this thing going on until I publish this album. I've got a good little while before half of the live streams for this game get flagged for copyright use. Oh boy. Oh well, here we go. thing on a loop? It is. We don't want you to be on the loop. We want you to be playing everything. Oh yeah. A terrible work in progress. But work nonetheless. See, I don't know if I should keep the library in here, because this feels way too early. Maybe more like archives. Oh, these are pillars. I'm putting placeholders for random generated stuff, so there's level geometry, which is in black, and then there's the random generated stuff, so that's going to be different every time you start the game. For the most part, these are things like pillars and whatnot. Lots of stuff like that. I've actually I have programmed in a little motion blur effect for this game. Let me disable the music in the game. There we go. Is it perspective, top-down, or profile? It's neither, actually. It's first person. Oh, the concept art? Yeah, this is, no, this is, just a side view. And, to be honest, none of this stuff is actually... None of this stuff is representative of where everything is positioned. These are kind of just notes from me. If anything, I did feel like maybe putting in, like, backgrounds. In the sense of defining what's supposed to be dark and what's supposed to be bright, like doing like a bright. Right, but that's just like extra stuff, and really depends on how much I am willing to work in concept art and how beneficial the detail in this particular type of concept art is going to be to the entire project, but you know. For now, this is a little bit better than just going into Maya and modeling stuff from scratch. I do place the a player for scale, just to keep the scale of the project in mind. So, anyways, we wake up in the pit, head up the pit, across the destroyed bridge. Animator? You mean shitomator? Retardomator? Oh man, at least start working in Blender. Like, to me, in my personal opinion, for 3D stuff, it's Maya, Max, Cinema 4D, Blender, a bunch of others, and then Animator below Game Maker 3D generated stuff. And Game Maker 3D is not even made for modeling. Anyways. I have prepaid my album release, by the way. So my next album has been prepaid. It just so happens that my publisher of choice was having a sale, a Black Friday sale, for their top tier album publishing service, which includes, you know, things like sync licensing, song registration in multiple countries, artist registration, stuff like that, right? Royalty collection. So I went ahead and pre-purchased that. So yeah, all that's left is just to finish up on the music. Ah, man. Let me take a look at this. Funny thing is, this effect, I'm only gonna be using it right at the start of the game. That's the only place I really needed this effect. I mean, I might actually turn it on during collisions, as in like scripted explosions and collisions, so that it goes right, and I'd have to use function generators, well, sine waves, really combine different sine waves to have screen shake effects. But so much exciting stuff. Oh, and I purchased Substance Painter for creating proper normal maps and light maps and shader maps and whatnot. So that is really exciting. And it's funny, the way I got it is the most fucked up thing, I swear to God. Steam was having this Black Friday sale for their for all of this stuff, you know, the autumn sale, I think, or the winter sale. So they had Leadworks for like $21, I think. What's wrong with painting textures in MS Paint? Gee, I don't know, maybe because I'm not retarded. I mean, I tried to paint normal maps and light maps in Photoshop and it didn't work with Unreal Engine, so I don't think doing it in Paint is gonna be any better. Shit, man. So, they had Leadworks on sale. So I figured 21 bucks. It's another engine, right? I bought it, and it was a complete, just a complete whatchamacallit? What's the word for spontaneous sale? Purchase. Impulse purchase, right? Impulse buy. And I messaged my friend right as I was purchasing. It's like, yo, man, it's 21 bucks for another engine, you know? Just keep it as a backup. He bought it as well. And he's just getting into game development. So as soon as I click purchase, he reads back, oh, okay, so he uses Lua to program. And I'm like, Lua? Oh, no. And this was right after I clicked the purchase button. So I'm like, no. Oh, no. I have enough shit with basic language. So I'm like, refund page. So I refunded that 20 something bucks. And I refunded it into my Steam wallet instead of my credit card. So, fuck, I'm like, shit, well now that's in my Steam wallet. Then there was another thing that I needed to purchase. I needed to purchase a basic shader pack for the app game kit. The one that they, you know, the most standard shaders. Ambient occlusion, which actually sucks major dicks. But there's other stuff like depth of field. There's a few interesting effects that actually work pretty well. So like most of the shaders were okay, but the problem is that the first time I tried to purchase it, I didn't pick the shader pack. No, I picked the visual editor, which is fuck all useful if you're working on 3D games. So I'm like, god damn it. Well, that sucks. And I went in ahead and refunded that. And once again, I refunded it into my Steam wallet. So now I have like 50 bucks in my Steam wallet. And I'm sure as hell not gonna fucking spend it on video games. And then I saw, okay, what kind of useful programs might Steam have? And sure enough, Substance Painter for 117 bucks off of 170. And I figured, it's an extra 50 bucks. Ah, fuck it. If I'm not gonna buy it now, I'm gonna waste that money on some stupid game I'm gonna play for like a week. And then just totally lose interest. Man. I think that Fallout 4 is the last new game that I've ever played. Okay, anyways. So I need to come up with these areas. What are you working on? Or you could spend the money on new hardware. Yes, I could, but not via Steam. I said I already had 50 bucks on Steam, and the only hardware you can buy off Steam is an HTC Vive, and I did not have an extra $450 laying around, or, you know, fucking 600 something, or Steam controllers, which I don't fucking need, or Steam Box, which I don't fucking need, and that's pretty much it. So, hardware will come later on, when I'm rich and filthy, and I'm a rich and dirty whore. I mean, shit, if they had, like, some other hardware. Imagine buying graphics cards on Steam. Oh, man. Okay, so, what is this area? This is not, the archives. Should start, assigning these locations. think I should expand the catacombs. I mean, if there was hardware that I would purchase, I'd probably buy new monitors. That monitor is dead. You remember that one? The one that I've been switching out in the background. I had a month. I told myself I had a month out of that monitor. That month is long gone. Miraculously, this TV right now is in the correct resolution. I don't know how it did this, but it's in the correct resolution now. Because I can actually do this, and I can still see the menu bar. So, I don't know how, but it's not gonna last though. It's gotten off the wagon before. So what I'm planning to do right now is I'm planning on coding in just a couple of more things into this game. Mostly just an infinite level progression, which kind of expands the size of the level and increases the amount of items. The funny thing is, we don't even have a living room. Our living room is our childcare business. So, yeah. There's a humongous TV, however, in my parents' room, though. So, you know, maybe at some point I'll go to like Factory Direct and pick up myself a gnarly 50 or 60-inch TV for like $500. It's Factory Direct for you. Okay. So I just want to disable this for a moment. I'm pretty sure they'll notice if there's a 50-inch TV missing from their room. It's, you know, one of those things. It's not like, you know, $5 or a ring or, you know, a necklace. It's not a tiny little thing you can kind of misplace. No TV for the kids. No, we practice classical education of kids and not offloading the parenting onto the television. All right, these dumbasses come out smart when they graduate out of school or our childcare center. So, anyways, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to I'm going to implement a small level progression. So when you get to the very top, the level goes dark, and then you go to the next level, which is a little bit taller and a little bit well, it's randomized, obviously, and that's gonna be, you know, your high score. How high can you get? For the time being, I'm gonna publish that, and I'm gonna put it up for like $2-3, and you know, that's basically gonna be early access for this title, so to speak, while my dad is working on the script for R-Tag Rise. In this case, it'll give me time, and it'll give me perhaps a reason to quit my workspace or quit my part-time job and do this, hopefully, if it works out. And while the script is getting done, I'm going to work on the levels that I'm putting through the concept art right now. Do you get anything for coloring in every platform? What's that? Do you get anything for coloring in every platform? Not sure what you're talking about, but have you noticed that Game Maker Studio has 2 functions for setting color? There's like draw rectangle color, and they have color with a U and without a U. It's like, what kind of... Do you support heathen language? Question is, which one do I consider? Consider heathen. I noticed that when you land on the platform, it changes color. Yes. I actually kind of wanted to implement a little fading thing, fade effect. So that, you know, it also makes a sound. So that it slowly fades out. But interestingly enough, there's the shadow map. If we can get a shadow to move over the sign, of course that's not gonna happen. Yeah, let me randomize. Let me randomize until I get a shadow over this thing. There we go. So you still get illumination, even when the shadow is on there. It's kind of cool. Built into the engine. That is why I really like this engine. Well, they support both functions though, so it's, you know, there's no way to make an error on that one. Whatever you write, it's still gonna parse it. So at least that's nice. Because it's not like, well, outside of dumb patriotism, it's not like either of those spellings are wrong. They're just different. They're special. Now, I might actually also write maybe a couple more soundtracks for the arcade mode. Ooh. Oh yeah, things are rolling now. And yeah, as soon as I say that. Anyways, so these are going to be custom levels, and I'm actually kind of excited about trying to make these levels happen here. Yeah, makes sense. All right. So we've got the catacombs, the pit, the archive. Oh, middle clicking does nothing if... Oh, you mean middle clicking doesn't do anything if it's one of the other spells, right? It does do it for both. I just press F1. Try F1. It basically does the same thing. If you click on the function, press F1, it's actually gonna also pull up that function in the help file, unless it can't find it. The middle click to pull up the help file is a little annoying, in my opinion. I use middle click a lot to like move around. So sometimes I click it on the function inside of a code, and I want to move, and it's gonna open up the help file. So I'm not sure if you can actually toggle it off. Anyways, I'm kind of beating around the bush here. I don't know what it is with me in platformer games. Something about soaring through the air is freeing and liberating. I always liked games where you had jetpacks. Like the moment I found out that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas has a jetpack cheat code, that was it. That was like my main mode of transportation. Punch in the code, little pop-out comes up. Oh, you're using cheat codes, no achievements, and no 100% completion. Like, whatever. I got a jetpack. My copies of Undertale arrived. It's cooling down. Physical copies of a Game Maker game. That's cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. What the? Oh no. The driver. Come on. There we go. Okay. Low to no gravity sections. Yeah. No jetpacks. You lost my vote. My friend and I have this joke. When we put up R-Tag Rise for Steam Greenlight, people kept like commenting, "Oh, what's that? There's no online co-op? Downvote. I'm downvoting this game." So we have this running joke whenever somebody doesn't like something. "Oh man, this coffee doesn't have sugar. Downvote, downvote." "Oh man, Viva tickets are getting expensive. Downvote, downvote." Southpaw's using animator. Downvote, downvote. Milo's not using Game Maker Studio. Downvote. Yo man. Okay, why? I just realized that that ping sound on the soundtrack in the music currently playing is off key. Put me in timeout. Literal downvote. Oh, I bet you have less YouTube accounts than I do. Oh boy. Having to put the little spec for player scale. Keep that in mind. Basically, this entire game is this random level generation wrapped around different areas. It's basically this. But instead of space, it's some library mesh. So what stage of your game are you on right now? Also, I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of a system for dynamically loading and unloading these level chunks, because I don't think I can keep all of these. Well, actually, I mean, well, I'm gonna have to see, because something tells me I can't have all of this geometry loaded into this entire game at once, but AppGameKit has been heavily advertising its ability to queue objects not displaying on the screen. So, and I mean, if an object is obscured by a larger object, that object is not going to get drawn. And that is precisely how I have about 500 of these pillars floating in the air. Right? There's actually 500 objects, excluding, you know, all of these objects too. And this is like buttery smooth. So, and it's on my potato of a system. So, I mean, this alone is pretty amazing in my opinion. Oh wow, your project started in GM7? Damn.
Hellish crimes.
Good lord. All official releases? I mean, have you bought every single one of those versions? Because, how many games do you have out on the market by now, actually? As in, like, in stores. Well, it's good that you're sticking to one single project instead of abandoning it and moving on to your next great idea, like certain someone.
Hellish Crimes.
It has to get your oven doppel. Gotcha.
Hellish Crimes. Hellish Crimes. Hellish Crimes.
What? Oh. Nerds. Ha ha. Can't even do Nelson. Ha ha. There we go. Pretty big area. Okay, so this area here is going to be this is the continuation of the archives. I despise making walk cycles. Walk cycles? Please explain. Motherfucker. Oh, what? No, that's okay. Damn it. You know, no. Can I please? Animating walk cycles. Oh, yeah. Walk cycles suck. Especially in 3D. Gotta get that groove on. Southpaw, by the way, are you using the the mod for importing 3D stuff? Not the mod, the little extension with a proprietary 3D file for importing animations and skeletal stuff into your game. I think it was Mishmash who made the extension. So something fun I found out during my live stream 2-3 days ago. Apparently Santa Claus, in the last name Claus, as in Santa Claus, that last name is apparently German. Or of German origin. So that is interesting. Next time you hear Santa crawling down the chimney sweep to get your presents, you yell, "Zit Heil!" Santa's like, "Jawohl." I knew it. Jeez. Clouds. I gotta avoid making downward movements, because downward movement is very easy to traverse. You just jump and you land the furthest one you can. It's the upward movement that's a little bit trickier, and that's something that I learned with Arteg Rise. Going down is easy unless you put something that's coming at you at 50 miles an hour. So technically, I'm gonna also have to make a level editor for this, eh? Nothing is nothing is easy. Synchronize these selections. Yeah, fuck it. I know what it is. Actually, let's do this instead. I also still have no idea where exactly the player is going to meet the NPC. That is not a floating object. Looks like Southpaw has run off. Either that or he accidentally closed the stream window. Or YouTube just doesn't count him as a viewer because he's not a human. Believe it or not, I actually got up at like 8 o'clock today. So that is amazing. I got so much work done. Thieving Knight, welcome to the stream. Yes, I'm sketching the level layout for this game project. This little platformer. For the moment, I have just a random level generator. And the basics of, well, the platforming kind of worked out. But I wanted to add multiple progressive levels and an NPC and a bit of a story, so I figured I wanted to add just a couple more things to this portion, then put this game up for a couple of bucks on Game Jolt. And while I am working on this, people can play and see what they like about this game, and you know, it'll act like an early access, so I can publish the levels I'm working on right now and sketching right now as an update. So that's my plan right now, just sketching the levels that I want to put in later on using the app game kit engine, all code. Code in my own tools. Fun stuff. Oops. Here. No, don't worry. There's somebody on the Twitch stream. To be honest, getting into game development has never been easier than right now. There's so many choices available. You have the idea for like 2 games. I'm the creative, not the brains. Ah, okay. Well, here, this is a little graph that I can show you. So you have creative, you have brains, and you have money. You can only pick 2. So if you ain't got no brains, you better be over here so that you could use the money to hire the brains. In my case, it's creative and brains, no money. So I gotta do this all by myself. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so if you don't have the programming skills, this is where you start. Do I have formal training? All self-taught. Yeah. Money's not even just a factor, it's a necessity if you don't know how to do one of the other things. Like, I know how to write music, I know how to program, and I have the ability to create, you know, assets and sprites. What program is this? This is Photoshop. If you're asking about the game engine, then I'm using the app game kit that runs within Microsoft Visual Studio. But app game kit has its own editor, which it comes with, but it works with Basic, right? It's really nice. It supports 2 different languages. So I started this game in Basic, and then I figured, you know what? For a small project, Basic was just fine, but now I want to expand, and I want to learn C++, so I ported it to C++ using the video tutorial that the developers of the engine had on their website. And yeah, you know, here we are, working with this stuff. Little platformer. Oh. Reach the top type of deal. I'm on a roll. Last time I said that, I fell off. Oh, wow. Can't believe it, man. I almost gave up there. Oof. Yep. What's the difference in the languages? To be honest, C++ is mostly preferred because it's a core language. It's supported by a lot of different devices. It's somewhat easy to to port depending on which engine you use, because C++ is just what you code your code in. What I'm using, as you can see here, I have a prefix AGK, and you see it highlighted it everywhere. This is a library, or this is the engine that I said before. It's this engine here, but it's running in C++ instead of BASIC, right? So with BASIC, I mean, you can do the exact same stuff. It's just with BASIC, the code logic is a little bit different. Like, for example, with BASIC, I don't like the way if statements are written. Because, I mean, this to me looks retarded. If this, no, you know, it actually argues not to put these square brackets. And it says end if to end the if statement. I mean, that to me is retarded, considering I come from Game Maker Studio, where it's a lot more C-like. For loops are retarded too here, but, you know, they do what they have to do. And with App Game Kit, if you make a game once, and it already allows you to export for, let's see, iOS, Android, and HTML5, as well as your standard desktop video game. With Game Maker Studio, same deal. It allows you to port to Mac, Linux, Windows, but in order to port to any other platforms, you get, you know, the $150 export module for iOS and Android, or iOS separate and Android separate, I think. Unless they're both the same. I think they're coming up with a Switch export at some point, considering that's a really popular platform right now. But over there, you know, Game Maker Studio has its own language, GML, which is very similar to C++. All these languages are really easy to memorize. Because in this case, it's not about the math, it's about just memorizing this. Like, for example, if I want to, for example, let's see, apply a texture to an object. You know, I put AGK, which will find this function inside of this library. And you say, okay, which object do I want to apply to? Exit 1, which I have defined earlier on. Yeah, here we go. I've defined a blank variable, and then over down the frick here, loaded up an object. As you can see, AGK : load object, and then you point to the location of the object, and then loads it into this variable, and then we apply this texture, which is once again loaded in here, and we apply it using this function. So it's really easy stuff. But I want to make this in C++ because I actually want to learn C++, because Unreal Engine works in C++, and I would like to move away from blueprints and move to using these functions instead. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to get into game development and you're not sure about how to go about it, download yourself Unreal Engine 4 because it's free right now, and the only time you have to pay is when your project gets to like 100,000 sales, and that's after you pay whoever you have to pay, like taxes, income taxes, stuff like that. So, I mean, I would recommend Unreal Engine as a beginner because there's no expenses involved, right? I myself, I have a couple of games that I want to make in Unreal Engine. I also have a couple of games that I want to make in App Game Kit because this engine interests me, right? You never have to stick to just one engine. I think App Game Kit is like $30. It was a Black Friday, so that was pretty good. 35 something bucks, yeah. So anyways, I want to add just a couple of things to this game, what's already in here, and put it up on Game Jolt for a couple of bucks. And you know, that will be early access basically. All this stuff will come to whoever purchased the game already, as a thank you, obviously. Oh, man. There's actually one thing. Okay, I want to offload. I want to offset this level over here. I find that Game Maker Studio has a much more active support forum than most of the other engines I've tried. It's not like I've tried a lot, but AppGameKit, for example, they have their own community, but it's not nearly as active as the Game Maker community. You'll get your answer at some point, but you know, Unreal Engine community might be could be more active than AppGameKit, but might be a little bit less so than whatchamacallit, Game Maker. Yeah, Game Maker. You gotta draw in the area where the player meets the NPC for the first time. And it's gotta be, well, it's gotta be scenic. Actually, you know what I want to do? I would actually like this to be a much larger room. I'm gonna have to create this room using some loops. Three-dimensional dead pixel. I'm tripping, man. Tripping. Too much work. Okay. So this is actually gonna be the place where the player will meet the other character. Gotta connect my phone. It's gonna be charging. And yes. So, what's everybody up to? While I get this stuff done. Lurk game is strong. Oh, that's funny. What are you working on? Yes, concept art. I have stepped on this rake far too many times, where I have gotten into the development, as in modeling actual assets, way before I even knew what it is that I was supposed to model, and it's an issue. It's an issue because when you model, you're not supposed to be thinking about what you're modeling. You're just modeling, right? It's supposed to be an automatic thing. So it's much easier to be coming up with stuff on paper than it is when you're actually drawing stuff, right? This is why you always start with a sketch. And a lot of beginners make this mistake. They're like, I'm gonna make a game, and they just start modeling, right? Or drawing and animating stuff. In this case, as you saw, I moved stuff around. I changed some stuff. Like, for example, this thing, I changed the entrance from this to now is like I have to come up with this connection. But now I have this vast area that I came up with that is going to serve the purpose of the meeting place for one of the characters, right? And if I were to start modeling this right away, switching that would have been pretty bad. Would have been pretty difficult. And I am from Canada. I am trying to make some of my projects happen so that I could get some savings going on, move out, maybe hire some people to work on more complex games. You know, what you're listening right now is a work in progress for my second album. My first album is currently on iTunes and Spotify. You can look it up. It's called Pure Mayhem Decimal. Is this connected to a sketch, a pad, or anything? Just using keyboard and mouse. No, I'm using drawing tablet, which this thing is actually pretty cheap. This thing was like 60 bucks. I just got tired because my tablet kept dying, or not dying, but my tablet kept, you know, screwing over. The driver was just a piece of garbage. So I went ahead and I lost it on the live stream, and I was like, fuck it. I'm buying a new tablet. Yes, this is my album. You can actually look it up. If you have a Spotify account, which is, you know, a free account, you can listen to it there, or iTunes, Apple Music, whatever. Whatever you can imagine, it's probably gonna be there. Okay, this part is boring because I haven't written that part yet. Let me see. Actually, fuck it. I might as well play some music over here. Come on, let's play. Afterwards. Anyway, so I have a base game. I'm working on the first area. Now, a lot of the stuff, everything that's in blue is going to be randomly generated, so that every time you play the game, it's a different challenge. It's the same challenge, but it's a different layout. Do I do this full time? No, I have a part-time job that barely keeps me afloat, paying some of my bills, but it's nowhere near enough to live alone and do this full time, let alone, you know, hire animators to offload a lot of the work for me. So that's what these games are gonna be for. If they're profitable enough, I can actually, you know, move to the next project, do something more advanced, yada yada yada, you know. Well, you know, what you gonna do? What part of Canada? Ontario. The great land of Canada. Florida. It's actually, it was actually pretty warm today and yesterday. No snow yet. We've had a little bit, you know, day to day, but so far it's actually proving to be a pretty warm winter so far. But of course, you know, comes April, we're gonna see all that snow we've been missing out. Everybody collectively say, oh, what is this winter? It was so nice. Yeah, we didn't get much snow this winter, not at all. It's so nice. And all of the snow that we've been missing out. It's... this song. There's quite a few pieces in this particular album that I really like. It's more of the down-to-earth stuff. Besides that, Hellish Crimes is a nice one. Kind of reaches the sort of music I'm looking to work on more. But people seem to like people seem to respond better to this down-to-earth stuff, way more than the electronic music. So, interesting enough, my publisher of choice, I should say, had a Black Friday sale for music publishing. So I'm like, hell yeah! Grab myself a publishing package, and maybe beginning of 2018, you'll see the second album come out. And as soon as I publish, all of the videos where I was playing this music in the background is gonna get flagged for copyright. It's funny. How dare you use your own music? It's fine. Oh, speaking of which, I've been slowly working on a custom lighting system so that I could start performing in the local areas. But showing up without any sort of music visual representation is pretty dumb in these locations. But only when it comes to electronic music, because most of the electronic music, like most of the magic, takes place inside of a studio. There's truly not a lot of stuff you can do live, other than that, grabbing a bunch of synths that you used to write the music with, or flipping a bunch of effects. You know, most of the magic happens in the studio. So what I've been working on is a lighting system that I can put together, and you know, it's a portable kit, so I can take to various places. I really don't know why I'm bothering with the perspective here. This is just a sketch. Okay, so how do we exit from here to the other place? Oh yeah, and this is where the character is gonna be at. Either here or here. It'd be interesting if it was down on the stairs, because there's gonna be a skeleton here, and the only thing that's left of the NPC is the skull. Realistically, this is not up to scale because the player is that tiny little dot over there. Now, how do we traverse from here over to here? Also, not to forget that there's a graveyard part to this level too. Turning it to be a pretty big level. particles, all that stuff. Janko, long time no chat. How's it going? What have you been up to? What sort of devilish prototypes have you been working on? Well, turn down the headphones. Yeah, I'm streaming on both platforms. Maybe my gorgeous voice belongs in the background. My gorgeous music sounds better. It's a little bit more pleasing than my voice. Let me actually listen to some stuff from the first album. Media players list. No. No. You can fuck right off. No, fuck off. Damn it. Classic. Media player classic. Did you know that saying 9 cue God. Cue the Hitler yelling nines. Somebody dropped in my live stream 2-3 days ago with the name Klaus, and I'm like, Santa? I didn't know Santa Claus was German. Santa goes 9. I'm clipping. God damn it. Yeah. Is this gonna be loud? Here. Yep, just a little bit. Klaus von Mischlecht. Interesting. So this is going to be a bit of a traversal to the side. So what have you done in Substance Painter? Absolutely nothing. Haven't gotten to making anything in Substance Painter yet. Nothing to make textures for. I have been watching some tutorials though for it, and holy shit, it's actually amazing. I've been trying to make normal maps using the NVIDIA's normal map generator, which half the time was just slow as shit. I couldn't get the spicular maps to work in Unreal Engine. Don't know why. Does it natively export to Unity? Actually, even better. They have an integrated live plugin where you can open up materials directly in Substance Painter, and whenever you paint new edits to the material and the texture, it's going to automatically update it into Unity or Unreal Engine in real time. So that is extremely fascinating. And there's 3 programs apparently. There's Substance Painter, Substance Designer, and there's a third one. Apparently Substance Designer is for generating the material nodes. So instead of going in Unity or Unreal Engine to build your materials, like putting in the specular stuff and the metallics properties, you use Substance Designer to do it. With Substance Painter, it's more about like the fine work, which is what I was looking for. Basically Photoshop for normal maps and specular maps and all that good stuff. So the fact that it live updates the textures directly in the engine just blew my mind. Also, what time is it over there? Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al Jankovic. Sorry. So you're getting close to bedtime, are you? I actually got up pretty early today. I got up at like 8 o'clock, but I haven't really gotten a chance to start the live stream until like 4 hours later. For the most part, I have finally ported the entire project to C++, to Visual Studio. So this is all C++ now. And there's a whole lot of stuff that I have started to understand, like for example this prefix is apparently the prefix of whatever library you're trying to use. And I was trying to look into the Unreal Engine C++ codes. I did not know what that was, right? So there's quite a few things that became pretty apparent. So you know, exact same project, only now in C++. Never thought I would actually be doing stuff in C++. The engine got a bunch of updates, like the live shadows, as you can see. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Jesus. Good stuff. So I'm gonna put this game up on Game Jolt for a couple of bucks as soon as I add just a few more touch-ups. The game reminds me of Cluster Truck, honestly. Actually, funny thing you mentioned. Let's see. Cluster Truck release date September 2017. In the DB. Dream Temple. Oh, really? Dream Temple Windows game. 2015! Yes! I published my game before Cluster Truck. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, so yeah, the collisions are very loose in this game. The whole idea is to actually be a bit more free with where you're actually going. They had a beta version before that. So beta. Cluster Truck Alpha download. 2000. I'm not seeing anything earlier than 2016, but these are like. This is visually pleasing. The game just looks great. Yeah. Alpha download. Well, this was posted in 2016, so I mean, unless they hold on, I'm pretty sure that it would be on somewhere on Game Jolt, where you can see the release date. I doubt that it was that the beta came out before before I got my first version out. But the problem is, I don't promote this stuff enough, and I've got a different, like, I have, my stories are a lot more grittier, and a lot of my games are narration driven. Even with this is a narration driven game. This is not, you know, an arcade game. So, I mean, way less bright colors, a lot more moody. That's the kind of stuff I like, right? Part of the reason why I like Dark Souls so much. That game's got amazing atmosphere. Yeah, so we're supposed to traverse into the background here. So I should probably make as many things pointing into that direction. Again, not the most crucial thing. This isn't exactly like this is not exactly a strict concept that I'm going to be following here. This stuff needs to be faded. Oh, not completely erased. Maybe have a mechanic where if your character is under a beam of light, a certain color, the physics change. I think there's already a game that with that mechanic. Interesting idea though. There's a bunch of like that change things like gravity, but for the most part, not really what the game is about. I could definitely make something like that, but I would have to figure out things like camera rotations. I'd have to inverse the direction of the gravity. You know, it's not that sort of game. Plus, I don't want to make this too big of a game, at least not at this point. You know, there's really nothing much to this project right now, besides that demo. Alright, game that completely messes with gravity. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe for certain levels, but this is way too early to think. As I said, this is a more of a narration-driven game. Twilight King is gonna be right back. This game looks like that, the made in Game Maker Studio. Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, let me see if I can YouTube videos. I think that's how you do it. Maybe. Nope. I want to send a proper link there. I didn't want to do a game like this in game. I was considering using Game Maker Studio for this, but the whole thing with the shadows and the light, not really what I want to be dicking around with Game Maker Studio. Would be certainly a challenge for the PlayStation 1-esque game. Why are you sending me JPEGs? You're sending me images or thumbnails of the video, not the video link itself. Unless that's what you actually want to send. And this is a 2D game. Spooky's Horror Mansion is nothing like that. It's a single-dimensional game and not a platformer. And it's Spooky's House of Jump Scares, okay? Not Spooky's Horror Mansion bullshit. Check yourself. Oh, man. Yeah, Spooky's House of Jump Scares is nothing like this game. It's a single dimension. You're not actually jumping up and down platforms. This game is a lot more like Cluster Truck. You do know why Spooky's House of Jump Scares was renamed to Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion or Spooky's Horror Mansion or whatever, right? Oh, you don't know, do you? No, Spooky's House of Jump Scares is like this cartoony indie horror game, cartoony styled indie horror game. But it's the whole point is get to the 1000th room, right? The room number 1000. There's a bit of a story that you can kind of follow along through the documents you find, but for the most part, this is randomly generated. It's more like dungeon crawler. But apparently, it used to be called Spooky's House of Jump Scares, I think. And there was some company in buttfuck knows where that sued the developer because their studio or one of their IPs or something, some game that they have never released, was also called something, or I think it was their studio name. It's like Spooky something horseshit, and they sued the developer for using that name, so he had to rename it. It's funny because when you go to the name, the old name is crossed out and the new name is written. It's not like changed, it's just been visibly modified. That's just funny. Like, big fuck you to this company. And it's some no-name company too. Nobody fucking knows about them. Yeah, man. Anyways, I'm getting too hung up on this particular area. I should just copy a bunch of stuff here. No, one sec. gonna go grab some tea and do technical assistance to somebody's phone. Wow. Fucking leave to grab some tea, lose half my viewership. Oh well. So, let's see. Anyways, where were we? Ah, man. Thieving Night. Have you been to one of my live streams before, or have you just discovered it? Oh, I was asking, have you been to one of my live streams before, or have you just discovered it? Oh yeah, Hias, I'm back. You've missed so much, man. Oh man, it was great. You're up? Yeah, tell him, Thieving. Tell him, Knight. You know, the thing? Oh man, the thing was awesome. Too bad you missed it. Insert Zelda noise. Wait. Never mind. Yeah, see, Knight knows. Oh man, it was great. Oh yeah, check this out. I'm gonna post a link. Instagram. Where's this thing? This thing. Here. This is what I've been working on the side project. Yeah. Yeah, this can be. I have been, I have participated in the Meatling Game Jam, hosted by Game Joel. This was my first game jam I've ever done. I ended up making a game that was way too big. And I am going to finish that game, even if it is too big, but it's no longer going to be a Meatly Game Jam game. I mean, that game got a story, got, you know, multiple level progressions. It's just, you know, it got way too big. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Interesting enough, the game, Artag Rise, my first game I'm working on, that game basically was supposed to do the same thing. Promote our channel. So, we don't really do too many Let's Plays though. Nowadays, my friend and I, we're it's more like a memory collection for us, all the crazy shenanigans we used to play. Yeah, for the most part, I am actually looking more towards getting my music out. So that thing you just watched, Night, that is a part of my custom lighting system. This is the system I'm building myself. If I were to purchase something like this, it would have been in a good couple to 5,000 bucks. So I'm building one myself, cheaper and more interesting. And I'll be taking that to some of my local gigs. See how people react. I want to socialize, but I have no friends. Stay with us in this online heaven where you can socialize and not lift your ass from your sofa / chair. Okay. This is actually a pretty big level. Oh man. Holy noises. What you mean, man? What you mean? This is a pretty big level. Okay, now I need to make sure I figure out a way how to traverse from here to there. Let's increase the canvas size once more by, say, about 40%. Yeah. Come on. Am I? Yeah. Oh no. No! Said this was a heaven. Okay. Holy noise, hallelujah. Okay, so this isn't heaven per se. This is a city of gods, but the this is not basically where the souls go, so to speak. This is a different concept of what a god is. Not like this eternal being, but this is a much more advanced entity watching over a world. This is a heaven? When did I say that this was a heaven? Far from it. Gonna have to actually do this using... Oh, come on. Don't die on me now. Come on, Photoshop, save. Save. Oh, you mean about you being antisocial. Got it. I don't remember what I said 2 minutes ago. Alright, I've been working in my current workplace for a year and a half now, and I still don't remember half the people's names. And I don't bother. People quit left and right. It's just by the time I learn their names, they're gone. Color overlay. The only song with lyrics in it. Starting to chug along a little bit. Yes, OBS to live stream. How do I get from there to here? I can't say that OBS is the best because I have not tried anything else, like XSplit and whatever else is out there. Okay, so let me, oops. So this is officially the exit from the catacombs. How do we traverse from here to there? Oops. I hope so. I hope it gets the popularity and I'll have more people to talk to in the live streams, because there's only really there's a lot of people who follow, but there's not a lot who return. It's like they come for the concept boy, they stay for, well, not much else. Oh man, I don't get out much. Besides maybe occasional travels to downtown just for recreation, like once a year. Most of my stuff is at home. Music, electronics, projects, anything. Game dev, modeling, film. Film might actually take me outside more often when I get to that. And music. Music, live performing, and film. Those are the two careers that I'm working on that will take me outside and make more social. There's no way around it. And it's not like I'm completely antisocial. All of my jobs up until this point have been in customer service. So I talk a lot to customers. I just don't befriend a lot of them. The song's pretty cool. It's funny, for Christmas, I have asked everybody who's giving me presents to give me presents related to my custom lighting system. Power supplies, LED strips, components, MOSFETs, all of that stuff. No video games, no computer parts, no nothing. Just give me stuff that I can complete this thing with. One poor starving man. Oh, I don't know about starving. I live for food, man. Which is gonna be my downfall. I have a new email. Ah, because Stevie Knight subscribed. Awesome. Yay. Thank you. To save the world from going outside, or save himself from going outside. Oh, man. Okay, how do I traverse it? I mean, technically, we got a little break here, which I need to fill with some stuff, because that's just a blank hallway. Oh yeah, and this area is going to be cut off from the rest of the world, because I don't want players making their way to nowhere. But I still want there to be pillars floating from the ceiling, like as if there's still a continuation. Oh man, I could go for some ramen noodles. But then again, I could go for anything that's food right about now. So, I'm not really picky. Although there's anything I could be picky about, it's probably be pizza. Come on. Ah, okay. I know what it is. Here we go. Now, there's gonna be checkpoints. They're just not gonna come often. There should probably be a checkpoint here, which I should also probably put in something else here. Is there a pallet here? Yes, there should be. Oops, wrong cup. Sad thing is, I still need to actually write a script for this because there's too much stuff that needs to be covered in the story to keep it in my head. And it's just like concept art. You can't keep it in your head. Well, thank you. But live streams don't really depend on how many donations I get. It really depends on the progression of my projects. For example, script writing I can't really live stream because there's a lot of story stuff and a lot of spoilers. It just kind of ruins the mood, even for people who watch my live streams. Some of the smaller games I can really discuss the stories with. I probably have already talked too much and revealed too much about this story. But the Patreon stuff, it's more about A, making sure that I can live independently, and B, making sure that I can hire some people to offload some more content. Like, for example, concept art, I can definitely do some myself to portray my idea, but maybe modeling and 3D animation for sure can be offloaded, because there's less thinking in that. It's more just routine labor, right? And, just filling out my other hobbies and stuff. So you have an exit here. Maybe some caves. This would actually make sense if there was a cave here. So we can have our pillars here. Our ginormous pillars in the background. And then when we exit here, there's going to be a hallway there. Doors on this side, and there's going to be doors on that side. But there's going to be a collapsed portion of this hallway, which will lead us into essentially this cave. Yeah, I mean, you could either address your game as an arcade game, which means you gotta make it engaging via gameplay, or you can make a narration-driven game, which makes your game interesting for the story. Sometimes, like, what I hate is... Well, I don't really hate, but I despise all these dumb simulator games. Like, there's good ones, like train simulator, car simulator. These are addressing a niche market, right? Like people interested in mechanics, right? Goat Simulator is fun, just a sheer cartoony madness, and just exploring the densely packed world. Then there's some pretty stupid stuff out there that seems to be getting popular. But it gets popular because of some gimmicks, and then there's this... man. There's too many shitty games by people who want to make a quick game for the sake of just making money, expecting their game to be one of the few that happens to go viral. Yandere Simulator is weird. Yes. I actually, like, the whole mechanic... honestly, Yandere Simulator could have been more about stealth. Like, actually more about stealth. And killing somebody and making sure nobody sees, and then getting rid of, like, witnesses and stuff like that, right? And the only mechanic about stealth is your what is it, the shyness towards your senpai. That's it. If somebody sees you, they start running, and that's pretty much the end of that entire scenario. There's no levels. Well, if they that is what I was thinking. Make it more like Hitman, because Hitman has, like, layers of complexity. Once you get spotted, you know, shit just goes to hell pretty damn quickly. Although I can't really rip on Yandere Simulator too much, because I've been watching Markiplier play quite a few games of that game. Or sessions of that game. In fact, realistically, the only games that I really don't like are arcade games who fail at being arcade games. And I don't mean like Castlevania style games. I mean games that have no story, because the game could have had a story, and it would have benefited from a story quite greatly, but the developers were just lazy. Sometimes art styles piss me off, like using photographs for sprite objects without developing a style that would benefit from such such content. Anyways, too much ripping on all people's games when I haven't released anything. I have a lot of narration-driven games, though. Pretty big amount. Excuse me. so this would be connected to this. That's the exit side. I can feel my computer starting to chug along because this file is humongous. Knight, are you still with us? Apparently not. So this, I can actually do some rock climbing.
From the beginning of time, mankind was meant to search the outer space for signs of our origin. It is essential for us to become free. Into the eyes of eternity.
Okay, this should be fine. Save that. Let me see about maybe. Adding prisoner. Well, these are prisoner archives, yeah. And I need to make sure that that's what it is. Prisoner archives. Also, I feel like the checkpoint should really have a it should have a sound. A sound that the players can identify. So when they get close to it, they can hear it. What's past the archives? I think it might be about time we exited the area. Just went for a fun adventure. Are you texting me from prison? Southpaw. You should have used your one phone call otherwise. Elsewhere. Fun adventure. When it shot somebody. Now you're texting from prison. Okay, well this is just the first zone. These are still the catacombs. This area here. This has got to be the exit. And this is where I'm gonna have to figure out the collision problem I had. Because this is gonna be a long flight of stairs. I get the idea. Bullshit, more like highway to hell. So I want this to clear into a medium-sized room. Should probably actually put the walls after. Gotta keep reminding me that this is the scale. Approximately. Because nothing is 1-to-1 scale in this particular piece. I think Chrome is having a fucking seizure right about now. It's like, more RAM! You've taken all my RAM! Who's this Photoshop? It's taking all my RAM. there's no wall here. This is not where the room stops. It stops about over here. And over there. Alright, and I'd say actually shit, this area walking up those stairs is gonna be mighty fucking boring if they're giant ass stairs, but at least this way can keep it a bit interesting. This is also going to be an area to traverse. When's the last time the player has saved actually? Oh, okay. Right at the beginning here. So, this should be fine. After getting through the stairs, this is the exit from the crypt. Right, but we're not done with the crypt. Crypt is not the end of the level. Yes. Yep. Southpaw says, I never lose anything, baby. So that means Southpaw is still a virgin. Straight out of the horse's mouth, baby. Dolphin boy. So this is the exit from the crypt. And Southpaw says, you wish. Oh, ho, ho, puny virgin peasant. But Southpaw says you never lost anything. So that must be you haven't lost your virginity either. So that must be what it must be. Straight out of your mouth, man. Straight out of the horse's mouth. Wow, this is a huge level. Holy shit. Oh, man. Okay, well, this is one of the last things here. I just want to finish this area. Before calling this... This is just level 1. Oh yeah, there's no way I can have all of these objects at once. Okay, so now we've got this floating island. It is an island. It's a floating island in suspended in space. Which is separated from the cathedral, which is the final destination for the level 1. So the cathedral is going to be here, and this is where it's an actual open space, as in dark, you know, black void, stars, and all the stuff you actually see here in Visual Studio that has been unloaded from the memory. Ah. What? Southpaw thinks that cathedrals must automatically mean religion. Okay, before I'm gonna expand this canvas just by a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And let's just do like 10%. Yep. Southpaw says, I like when the plane crashes in Final Destination. And just like that, his name has been added to a list. Which list we don't know. It's one of many. We have lost track. But it's on the list now. Wow, it is taking so fucking long to draw these lines. This document is humongous. I don't have any space, I don't have any memory left, do I? Wow, that alone should tell me. Let's see, available. 235 megabytes. Oh, no, free 14 megabytes. Oh my god. Something tells me I should probably turn off, Although half of that memory is actually the undo history in Photoshop, because I did set that to a pretty high value. If not to like 99999. And I got 8 gigs of RAM here, so... just chew through 8 gigabytes like that. Let's see, how much RAM is... How much RAM is Visual Studio gonna free up? Technically, it's not supposed to free up any memory because it was loaded on the hard drive. If it wasn't loaded in the memory, it would have opened up right away. But no, it was saved on the hard drive. So there shouldn't be any memory increase. Of course, it's let's see. Come on. It's not responding. It's slowly closing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Southpaw. Watch the profanity. Watch the profanity on my channel, please. Okay, how much did that free up? Can't be enough. Fucking nothing. Oh wow, it consumed 2 megabytes. Jesus. Wow, this is bad. Let's close down Chrome. What else is open? Steam, App Game Kit, I can close this shit. Visual Studio is still open though. I'm sure that if I will save this and open that up again, it should work. There's only like 30, maybe 45 minutes left of this live stream either way. Probably less, because I'm pretty much done with this level. I'll still have to come back and add thumbnails. Okay. Save. Okay, let's take a look at it. So we had 60 megabytes left. $60 megabytes left. So let's close Photoshop slowly without crashing. Question. App Game Kit has a question. Yeah, sure. I'm not sure what it's saving, but okay. I think by today I should be able to squeeze in a little bit of music writing for the game, for the demo. Come on, Photoshop. You can do this. AAM updates. Service Manager. Eating up a whole 600 kilobytes of RAM. I should probably close Discord. Don't need that. Beautiful. Fucking brilliant. See, Discord is quickly offloading all the RAM, all the content into the other instance of itself. It's like shit. He's closing everything. Chrome Crash Handler. No thank you. I need that 80 kilobytes of memory. Crash Handler 64. Input personalization. What the fuck is this? I don't know. Photoshop. It's still running. 5 GB. It's still consuming memory. This value is going up. Wow. Okay. What the fuck? It's like, I'm not getting you. You're not getting rid of me without a fight, motherfucker. It starts eating all my memory. Okay, here we go. It's going down. Slowly. Visual Studio momentarily had a return from its slumber. A momentary awakening. Fucking hell, even Windows is slowing down. Okay! Something closed down. Not Photoshop. Still chewing on that 5 gigs. Okay. Hey, we got 500 megabytes. Still going down though. This is bullshit. Come on, Photoshop. Okay, if Photoshop is closed, I'm pretty sure it's safe to crash it. Slowly unloading that 4 gigabyte. Fucking hell. Hey. Yep, there's the 5 gigs back. Alright, we can load it up again. Don't need this. Maybe I shouldn't load it up again. Alright, I'm gonna quickly take a break for a moment. I'll reboot the computer, and I'll be back. I'm not gonna shut down the stream. Come on, restart. It has been a while since I restarted, so here we go. Be right back. Actually, I should probably make sure that this thing reloads. Come on. Come on, come on. Alright, be right back. Wow, this thing is still shutting down. What a piece of shit. 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 Hey, it's finally off. Southpaw says, I can see your porn folder. That's impossible. My porn folder is deeply rooted on my phone. On another machine. Offline. Oh, man. Where the NSA cannot get to it. Unless they pose as a friendly mailman or a hooker. Hias says banana. I'm very uncomfortable. Hias has left the chat. Oh yeah, Hias can't see the comment because I haven't approved it. Loading up. Slowly. I need to get myself an active HDMI splitter like the one I got my dad for his Chromecast and audio extractor. Come on, there's like 30 minutes left of the stream. And I'll switch on to music. Windows 7. Yeah, motherfucker, I use Windows 7. What of it? If I could, I'd be using Windows XP. If that was still supported by any of the hardware. Fuck, I'd still use Windows 2000. The question is, do I want the operating system eating half of my resources instead of Windows 7, which eats like maybe 10%? Do I want most of my games and hardware or software to be incompatible with shitty compatibility scripts that don't work? Okay, let me set the resolution properly so that it can actually detect the drive, man. Detect the drive! Hyperdrive! Come on. Come on. Detect. Oh, for God's sakes, I gotta unplug it and plug it in manually. This passive HDMI splitter is being a pain in the butt. And of course, as soon as I restart it, am I gonna have double audio? No double audio, huh? Interesting, but something has crashed. Windows has crashed. Okay, here we go. We're back on the air. Alright, let's launch Photoshop. Tomorrow, I think I will publish the demo of the game. Whatever's playable right now. And something just reset. Motherfucker! The display just reset. I gotta unplug it and plug it back in again. And Photoshop crashed. Because of it. What the fuck? You piece of shit. Okay, here we go. Oh, I know what's going on. Oh, it's trying to set up the desktop resolution. Okay, here we go. There we go. I don't know how. For some reason, this monitor most of the time can't handle this resolution. It's not that it can't handle, it doesn't fit it on the screen. Sometimes it does. Rarely. Very rarely. And I think it's onto me. It knows I have discovered its weakness. Okay, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna grab some food. Because I'm hungry. Haven't had chicken fajitas in a while. Yeah, even though that's not true. Aria was over. A few weeks back, we made fajitas. Level maps, catacombs. What are the sticky notes with the numbers? Sticky notes with the numbers. My lighting kit, calculations, stuff I wanted to remix for different genres. Remaining dues. Some code, I forgot what it was for. List of synths, stuff to put into the videos, animation timelines, more shit I forgot about. I don't know. Random notes I'll never have to worry about. Anyways, this is where I left off. Okay. Okay. So, server. I would like to put on just a little bit of music. I'll probably listen to... What do I listen to? The fuck is this? Oh, yeah. totem head stuff. How many of you guys, is it possible to import MP4s into GameMaker? No, and you'd be an idiot if you tried to, because as far as that goes, MP4 is a copyrighted format, so you need to pay royalties in order to use that format. However, there is a marketplace asset you can pick up off of the place. It's a multi-platform video player. It uses a proprietary video format, and it gives you a converter. So you have your MP4 video cutscene, let's say, that you exported from whatever you made it. You use the converter to convert the files into a proprietary file, which you insert as an included file into GameMaker Studio, and then you use the extension in order to play that file. And it's a multi-platform file. It basically converts into an equivalent video file. And you can do all kinds of stuff. You can like set it as textures of 3D objects. You can play back multiple videos. You can, you know, fuck around with the damn thing. It's pretty versatile. What's a proprietary file? No, it's a proprietary file. It's a file that is specific to that software. Like, you have universal files that most pieces of software recognize, like PNG, JPEGs, stuff like that. And then you got proprietary files. Like, for example, if you go to, if you open up like Fallout 3 game folder, all the files in there would most likely be proprietary. You can't open them with a regular, you know, archiving program. You would need to use the creation kit. Right, but you only do, it's like a $20-$30 extension, and you keep the license of it. Is the converter and plugin? The converter and plugin are included with the marketplace asset. So all of that is included with the asset. Here, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so Game Maker multi-platform video player. But most of the time you should be striving for making most of your cutscenes in the game without using animated sprites. Okay. This adds experimental. Nope, that's not it. Video player. Interesting. You have stuff that accesses your camera. That's pretty interesting. Web views looks like an interesting. GML video. Is that it? Could that be it? Yep, that's the one. What is it? 29 bucks. Well, it's on sale. Fully compatible with 1 and 2. Compatible with all target aside from HTML5. So iOS, Android, Windows, PS4, Windows platforms, and more. So, yay. There it is. GML video by Taylor Dale. Whoa, Black Betty, Taylor Dale. Oh, Black Betty, Taylor Dale. Black Betty had a job, Taylor Dale. Sorry. Oh, jeez. Okay, so see, these things are rough sketches of what goes where. I would need to implement, I'd need to draw thumbnails for actual designs for this stuff, for sure. Okay, so this is the final destination of this level, and you once again have to kind of jump around to get to it. Yeah, hi. So you're gonna have to at some point realize that most of the good shit does not come for free. And neither should you be looking for good stuff to be free. That is the sad truth. Yeah, sounds like my brother's home. Oh, jeez. Okay, actually, no. No live trees. It's all dead. Dead and gone. I thought the music was playing. How many of you... Wait, have you guys played the Nazi zombies? At some point, at any point? No answer. Everybody has left. Everybody have left my my live stream. I'm all alone, man. I'm all alone. All right. This is pretty much it. Alright, so this is pretty much it. I'll probably reduce the size of these stairs though, and I'll expand on the entrance here. Not a whole lot else that can be done for now. All right. The pit. Crossing over to the catacombs. To the archives. This is where we meet the NPC. Traverse the hallways of the archives into the actual library, into the archives, up the stairs, lobby, out of the crypt, and finally across the remaining chunks of the city, or the remaining chunks of this island, into the church / cathedral, which I still need to draw. So I'll do that next live stream. I am all tapped out in terms of drawing, so this is all that I can do. All right. What do you do if... What? What to do if tour parachute fails? What? No idea. You tell me. I'm assuming it's a joke. Your... Funny. Funny. Nice. Best punchline I've ever heard. What do you do if tour parachute fails? Your. Ha! Sorry, man. Oh, man. You tell me. You tell me what to do if your parachute fails. Are you talking about the game? Or do you have a joke in mind? It's a YouTube video. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, you like spread your arms and legs to try to get as much friction. Try to head for like the trees, because that's probably the best thing you can do. Stay away from water. Yeah, I've seen that video. It's pretty funny. Okay. I will end this live stream with this track, which is a work in progress for one of my other IPs. I don't put a lot of hard electro house stuff on motherfucker. My brother's being too loud. Here. This is the track that I want to put under one of my other IPs that has really nothing to its name, but this was the point when I discovered the usefulness of FM synthesis. No, not this. Whoops. This one. And if you played the game Nazi Zombies, this is a tribute to that game.
You rank-ass nasty squag! Bow before was the almighty doctor!
Taste communist aggression, filthy worm train!
I will send you to hell one piece at a time!
You see that? Holy shitballs!
Come close, you die!
Kapow! Another zombie down!
Not a chance, bone maggots!
Ha! You cannot even beat a drunk Soviet!
That's as far as I've gotten, really. Oh, man. Probably. It probably will. But there's, like, a bunch of stuff. I usually work on a track like that for, like, a couple of weeks, and then I stop. And it takes me, like, a good 2-3 weeks of rest before I can listen to it again and hear the things that are wrong with it. And there's a couple of things that I probably want to add to this, but you know, it's a slow process making anything good. Okay, well, that's it. That's it for tonight. I'm gonna go downstairs and probably write another soundtrack for the demo. Tomorrow I will be finishing the demo of that game. I'm gonna be finishing the whatchamacallit, the playable stuff. It's technically playable right now, but I need to put in the level progression so that when you reach the top, you can go to the next level, which will pop, you know, have a thing pop up, and I will publish that. So by the end of tomorrow, hopefully, I will be able to publish that on the thing, on the Game Jolt. All right. See you tomorrow.